Okay, there we are. So,
And
we were reading this
Claudia, no,
episode
Claudia
when
is here.
Fuseli kissed the girl. And they are thinking of the girls in France, no?
Yes.
So look at Bill. Bill says, it's great to be a soldier, he said to Bill Gray. You can do anything you goddamn please. So this is the idea they have before getting there. You see?
Yes.
Yes.
So let's see what, but this is precisely the irony. This is the irony that Dos Passos includes, no? These little phrases. The man saying, you can do anything you want to do, yes, and then we know that it will be more difficult, no? Well,
But in general, I heard that the American soldiers, ligaban un montón en Europa.
yes, in France especially, no?
In France, yes.
Yes. Well,
Yes, but that is part of the propaganda they received.
yes, of course, they want them
Yes,
to
claro.
believe
That it was fun being there.
Yes, like you are like a hero. Everything is praising you all the time because of your courage.
yes.
Mhm. Yes.
No, that was part of the propaganda too. Yes. And the films, remember the movies? Fuseli is
Yeah,
full
yes,
of movies
yes.
in his head, no?
Yes.
So, let's see. A ver, wait a second.
We reached the poem. Yeah,
Which poem? What
this
is it?
beautiful
Beautiful
Carrie.
Katie.
Yes,
This one. This is the song. That's what you mean?
the song. I'm sorry.
Yes.
And then we have to go up from this point.
Okay, so everybody sang. Remember that this song was a popular song about a soldier who bought a ring for his girlfriend, no? Everybody sang as the thumping of wheels over rails grew faster. Fuseli looked about contentedly at the company sprawling over their packs and equipment in the smoky car. It's great to be a soldier. You can do anything you goddamn please. This, said the corporal as the company filed into barracks identical to those they had left 2 days before, yes, remember they have moved to the coast, is an embarkation camp. But I'd like to know where the hell we embark at. So the poor sergeant or the corporal doesn't know. We are here to embark, but we don't know where, no? Well, it was pitch dark in that part of the camp. The electric lights had a sparse reddish glow. Fuseli kept straining his eyes, expecting to see a wharf and the masts of a ship at the end of every alley. The line filed into a dim mess hall where a thin stew was splashed into the mess kits. So the mentioning of food is always present, and they always eat this thin stew, no? Un guiso flojito, un guiso sin nada.
Aguado.
Behind the counter of the kitchen, the non-coms, the jovial first sergeant and the business-like sergeant who looked like a preacher, and the wrinkled-faced corporal who had been on the Red Sox outfield, could be seen eating steak. And here we see again the difference, yes? The officers eat meat, and the soldiers, the stew. A faint odor of stick frying went through the mess hall and made the thin chili stew utterly tasteless in comparison. Yes, so poor people, so they are there and they eat rubbish, no? Fuseli looked enviously towards the kitchen and thought of the day when he would be a non-com too. I got to get busy, he said to himself earnestly. Overseas, under fire, he'd have a chance to show what he was worth. And he pictured himself heroically carrying a wounded captain back to a dressing tent, pursued by fierce whiskered men with spiked helmets like firemen's helmets. You see his dreams, no? He
Yes.
imagined himself like in a movie.
He's always in a movie.
Yes, he's always a character in the movie. I laugh because this is something I used to do when I was a teenager. I don't know about you, but I had that type of imagination of imagining me doing things, beautiful things that then I never did. Part of our imagination. I never told you, but when I was in fourth grade, I had to write a composition saying who I would like to be. And I wrote that I would like to be Queen Elizabeth. Oh my God. And the teacher called my mother because she was worried. Ay, qué loca. Well, so at that moment, there is somebody playing a guitar. Some guy sure can play, said Bill Gray, who, with his hands in his pockets, slouched alongside beside Fuseli. So there is, here we get two tall Negroes whose black faces and chests glisten like jet in the faint light. Come on, Charlie, give us another, said someone. Do I get it now, or must I hesitate? One Negro began chanting while the other strummed carefully on the guitar. No, give us the Titanic. The guitar strummed in a crooning ragtime for a moment. The Negro's voice broke into it suddenly, pitched high. This is the song of the Titanic sailing on the sea. So the song, yes, of the two Negroes sang about the Titanic. Here you have the song, how the Titanic ran in that cold iceberg, etc. Is also a way, a kind of ironic premonition, yes, because they are not going to sink like in a boat, but the situation will be like the situation in the Titanic for all of them, no? And they sing this Nearer My God to Thee, which is a hymn that is sung in church. I don't know if you know the song.
No.
This song of the Titanic.
No, this one, Nearer My God to Thee, Nearer My God to Thee. It's a very common, when I'm not going to sing it, but I know it. Más cerca cerca de ti, Dios, o cerca de...
sí.
Es una canción muy conocida de iglesia, ¿sí? And they
And the
say,
rhythm is the same. Do we sing it at Mass, no?
I don't know the rhythm here. Yes, but the song is the song that they said you know that the band of the Titanic went on playing while the boat was sinking.
Ah, yes.
And they were playing this song. See? When they sang, the musicians continued playing. So
the show must go on.
Yes, but it is a church
song.
Yes. Well, so this that's why it says the guitar was strumming the hymn.
Well, they were probably literally nearer God then.
Yes, they were very near God at that moment. Yes.
It was some kind of prayer. Yes.
Yes. The Negro was singing with every chord in his throat, almost sobbing.
I'm sorry.
A man.
I found the song for you to see. This is a concert.
Yes.
With a very famous director directing.
Yeah.
I will share with you.
Okay.
By WhatsApp.
Okay. I thought you were going to play it now.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
Thank
because it is, if you hear the song, you will recognize it because it is very well known. Yes. So the man was singing and practically sobbing, crying, no? A man next to Fuseli took careful aim and spat into the box of sawdust in the middle of the ring of motionless soldiers. The guitar played the ragtime again, fast, almost mockingly. The Negro sang in low, confidential tones. Oh, the women and the children, they sank in the sea. Oh, the women and the children, they sank in the sea round that cold iceberg. Before he had finished, a bugle blew in the distance. Everybody scattered. Fuseli and Bill Gray went silently back to their barracks. It must be an awful thing to drown in the sea, said Gray as he rolled himself in his blankets. If one of those bastard U-boats, he's imagining the submarines, no? Now there is another fear that will appear now. They will have to travel by boat from America to Europe. The trip is going to be horrible, and this idea of sinking and drowning will be present all the time, no? I don't give a damn, said Fuseli boisterously, but as he lay staring into the darkness, cold terror stiffened him suddenly. He thought for a moment of deserting, pretending he was sick, anything to keep from going on the transport. No, of course, he's afraid now.
Una canción muy oportuna, ¿no? Para
Yes. No, poor,
Sí,
poor.
la
antes de
verdad.
cruzar el Atlántico.
Sí,
Yes.
he could feel himself going down through icy water. It's a hell of a thing to send a guy over there to drown, he said to himself, and he thought of the hilly streets of San Francisco and the glow of the sunset over the harbor and ships. So now he starts longing for San Francisco, no? Coming in through the Golden Gate. His mind went gradually blank and he went to sleep.
It's so weird because he's afraid of drowning in the sea, but not afraid of dying at war.
Not yet, because he hasn't had
Not
experience.
Yes. Well, we
Yes,
know
but
what
dying
wars are.
in the sea is terrific, no? It's a very impressive, no?
Yes,
Yeah.
no, apparently.
Die in the
being shot
ocean,
or
in a cold water, alone, well.
yes, but being shot or I mean
Yes, but we are
Because-
fighting. It may be different, no?
But
we
because
can do something, but
But
the
Fuseli
water,
is
we are-
in a movie. Fuseli is
Yes.
always in the movie. He imagines the war as he being a hero. He
Yes,
doesn't
Yes,
imagine the war
Yes.
as terrible as it is.
yes.
Mhm.
Remember, he's very naive and he's very young. He's very young and very innocent.
Innocent, yes.
Of the three of them, Fuseli is the most innocent one. No, he
Yeah.
has these dreams and these ideas. He's really very innocent. No, well, the following day, no, they are waiting there to get on board. Fuseli was excited. He kept thinking of the night before when he had helped the sergeant distribute the emergency rations and had carried about piles of boxes of hard bread, counting them carefully without a mistake. No, so he's always doing things correctly. He felt full of desire to do things, to show that he was good for. Guy, he said to himself, this was a lucky thing for me. I might have been in the R.C. Vickers Company store for 5 years. This is the company where he worked. Remember, he worked in a company in San Francisco selling, what was it? Some instruments. Yes, he worked at a company with his friend. And so this is the name of the company. He was there for 5 years and never got a raise. And here in the army, I got a chance to do almost anything. So he's, as Alice said before, no, this idea of progressing, of going up on the scale, has been frustrated for him in the company because he was a normal employee. Now he has the possibility of going up. Far ahead down the road, the column was...
The army was always, give always the possibility to to social mobility, no?
Yes,
Yes.
here in
Because of the
Argentina
war
too.
and because of the
Yes.
Yes.
Even now, I
No,
think.
even
well,
now, yes,
yes,
even now.
yes, and
The Latin people who is living who were living in at the United States, and they decided to go to fight to obtain the nationality.
yes,
Right.
yes, and well, and here in Argentina, it was a way of social mobility for a lot of people too.
Yes. Many
Especially
from the provinces.
yes, especially in the past, they didn't know, they didn't have education, etc. They started the army, and they could grow in the army.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yes.
So, he felt proud of himself and of the company. The damn best company in the whole outfit. The company ahead was moving, and it was their turn now. Forward march. They were lost in the monotonous tramp of feet. Dust rose from the road, along which, like a drab brown worm, crawled the column. So again, this image is very potent and very nice, no?
Yes.
Dust rising, yes, when they were moving like a worm, no? In the crawling, no? The image of this worm moving. A sickening and familiar smell choked their nostrils. Now, what happens here?
Something that smell very badly.
Yes, they get to the ship.
Yes.
That
Yeah, I
is,
thought it was the harbor. Yes.
yes, they get to the ship.
The smell of.
What are they taking us down here for? Damned if I know. They were filing down ladders into the terrifying pit which the hold of the ship seemed to them. So start watching the images connected with the ship, no? They, the soldiers, traveled in the lower part of the ship.
En la bodega, Inés.
En la
Bodega.
bodega, exactly. So imagine, it was dark, the smell was awful, yes, without air. Every man had a blue card in his hand with a number on it. In a dim place, like an empty warehouse, they stopped. The sergeant shouted out, "I guess this is our diggings, yes, our house. We'll have to make the best of it." Then he disappeared. Fuseli looked about him. He was sitting in one of the lowest of 3 tiers of bunks, roughly built of new pine boards. Electric lights placed here and there gave a faint reddish tone to the gloom. No, look at all the words, gloom, dust, except that the ladders where high power lamps made a white glare. The place was full of tramping of feet and the sound of packs being thrown on bunks as endless files of soldiers poured in down every ladder. Somewhere down the alley, an officer with a shrill voice was shouting to his men, "Speed it up there, speed it up there." Fuseli sat on his bunk looking at the terrifying confusion all about. Feeling bewildered and humiliated. For how many days would they be in that dark pit?
Many.
Many. Imagine to cross the
15, no? 15,
Yes.
20 days, more or less.
Yes.
more, yes.
Or more, yes.
He suddenly felt angry. They had no right to treat a fellow like that. He was a man, not a bale of hay to be bundled about as anybody liked. "And if we are torpedoed, a fat chance we'll have down here," he said aloud. So you see, he is angry now. "They got sentries posted to keep us from going up on deck," said someone. So they were placed there, but they were not allowed to go up. No, so even worse.
Like prisoners.
Yes,
Yes.
they were prisoners, yes. "God damn them. They treat you like you was a steer being taken over for meat. Well, you are not a damn sight more. Meat for the guns." So you see, other soldiers had, a clearer vision, Vanessa. Fuseli was the one who thought differently, but the others knew that they were meat for the guns.
Yes.
A little man lying in one of the upper bunks had spoken suddenly, contracting his sallow face into a curious spasm, as if the words had burst from him in spite of an effort to keep them in. Everybody looked up at him angrily. That goddamn Kike Eisenstein. Who was the man who said we are meat for the guns? The Jew. You remember Eisenstein?
Yes, yes.
Always saying things that were incorrect. Say, tie that bull outside, shouted Bill Gray good-naturedly. Fools, muttered Eisenstein, turning over and burying his face in his hands. Because this Jew, you remember him from a previous section.
Yes.
Yes, Teresa, you were going to say something.
No. I agree. We know him.
Mm-hmm. He's always very negative as regards the war. He wanted to be spared. He wanted to be discharged, but they didn't. So he had to stay there, no? Guy, I wonder what it is makes it smell so funny down here, said Fuseli. Fuseli lay flat on deck, resting his head on his cross.